Well, kind of what I'm thinking is, back a while, maybe about 8 or 10 years ago, is where I was reading that our bodies put off radiation, and that's one reason why cancer patients should not be given radiation treatments. And with what you're saying, it kind of goes along with mind over matter. I would think, based on what you've just said, and then the fact that of learning that our bodies put off a certain amount of radiation, if you look in a positive manner and do things that make you happy and stimulate your mind and stimulate your body in a positive way, would our bodies should be putting off enough of that so-called radiation that otherwise we would be getting the poisonous type. Is that correct?
Yep, to some extent, that's an accurate statement.
Okay. Can you elaborate on that, maybe? I'm not sure that I actually got it across that our listeners could, because sometimes my thought pattern's a little jumbled out there because I'm thinking of so many different things at once.
Well, I would ask that Dave could allow some callers, or you, however the callers can come in, because that would give us a good idea or indication if we're communicating, so people understand.
Right, exactly, exactly.
I mean, I'm on an energy level that I believe I've experienced this, and a lot of, my own personal life, as well as a lot of...
Not hearing you, Will.
Oh. Is that any better?
There you go.
Okay. Well, I would say that your statement is correct, and I believe that our belief has a great power, and we generate thoughts. And if there's two main emotions that you're either in the love frequency or the fear frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And when you vibrate or generate the fear frequencies, it's almost like you're drawing the negative and the other, even the radioactive type of frequencies to you. And if you can operate in your whole being, you can operate in the love frequency. Science has proven that you set up like a force field around you, and the negative things, like radiation, if you will not penetrate. And if it does, it will not harm you like it would if you were in the fear state or the fear emotions.
Okay. Well, that makes a whole lot of sense.
On that alone, you can protect yourself.
Well, that makes a whole lot of sense. Go ahead, continue.
Yeah, well, so, I mean, that's why, because on a biological level, the love or the healing hormones and the fear or fight or flight or stress hormones are basically created out of the same components. It's our emotional state and our belief that dictates whether we're creating stress hormones or healing hormones.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So this is where our beliefs come into play. I mean, Bruce Lipton's been talking about this for years, Greg Braden, and there's a lot of information out there for the last 30 years plus about belief. But the problem with belief is there's a subconscious part of us, that's the majority of us, that consciously there's a difference. And
mm-hmm.
we basically are being, how do I say, we're responding most of the time from those subconscious programs that have been put in our belief before we have even been become conscious of our consciousness, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And it's those underlying programs that are running, like in your computer, you have all your programs that are running in your laptop or in your hard drive that you don't even know that are running, and your computer gets slow and boggy. Well, we have a similar thing going on if our unconscious programs are running without our knowing, and we're living life by default by those programs that are running. We have all these self-sabotage ways or negative things that happen to us that we don't even know or we're not aware of.
Mm-hmm. Hey, we've got a question in the chat room.
Sure.
Andrew asks, he says, my question, granite, quartz, and other minerals have an energetic field. Is this bioenergy or a different type of energy?
Well, I look at energy as only being energy. So bioenergy would be, in my mind, energy coming from a life force. Now, everything has a frequency that it generates of some kind, whether you be a rock. I mean, even plastic has some kind of, you can read the generation of some kind of energy in there.
You're breaking up, hearing you again.
Oh, my God. Okay, is this any better?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Well, in my mind, it depends on what you're looking at for energy. Are you looking at life force energy, or would be what I would consider that biological, bioenergy, or just the energy that everything emits? To me, that's two different things, but yet it's the same energy. It's just in a different frequency.
Right.
So here's where we get. Here's what?
It's all basically the same thing. Cosmic energy, consciousness.
Basically.
Okay, that was a statement made from another person in the chat room. So I wanted to clarify and let him know that he's on the right track.
Okay.
Go ahead there. Go ahead and continue with whatever, on that, because, I mean, energies are such good things, and, having the positive outlooks and having the proper nutrition, both for soils, bodies, even mind and spirit, there's still nutrition for that, too, and...
Absolutely, because we have depression at all times.
Right. And when I'm talking about nutrition for the spirit and the soul, or whichever way one wants to look at it, that nutrition would be like the positive energy. The positive energy that you put forth would feed your spirit in a healthy manner. And, the negative is what causes the depression and brings your health down and everything else. Correct?
Well, that is partly true, but here's the thing: for our hormones are created with amino acids and minerals, and if you're not providing your body with the appropriate amino acids, your hormone production is going to be imbalanced, and therefore you can have, doesn't matter how positively tuned your thoughts may be or your consciousness is, because your body's not able to form the correct balance of hormones to radiate or to mesh with your emotional state, there's going to be some contradictions there. So this is where that I feel diet, and your not only diet, but the ability to break the amino acids down and to get them to the appropriate organs so they can make the hormones, or the hormones that are created in the GI tract, will tie in with everything. So just thinking one way is fine. That'll get you so far. I believe that. But if you want to go completely as a holistic view, you need to really take into consideration the operation of your GI tract, as well as hormones and minerals that play into this also, and also our brain. I mean, we have a brain function requires high amounts of amino acids. I mean, science has proven this.
Right.
And if you're not putting amino acids into your body, you're definitely not going to have correct computations in your brain. So it's your thinking is going to be distorted somewhat.
Right. So let's talk a little bit more then about some of the things that you have come up with, because as you know, one of the big concerns people are having is actually, let me go to this. There's a question here in the chat room. We know that mycelium will absorb and cleanse areas of radiation on the ground, but will it also cleanse the air in the area where it continues to multiply?
What does? I didn't hear you.
what mycelium?
Okay. And what was the rest of the question then? You cut out there.
We know that mycelium will absorb and cleanse areas of radiation on the ground, but will it also cleanse the air in the area where it continues to multiply?
Well, therefore, the air has to pass the microorganism in order to have that work like that. If you're just using mycelium or mushroom type of funguses, they're on contact, or the air has to pass by that. So,
okay.
Yes, funguses are used in radiation cleanup, just like most of the microorganisms that I have are used in radiation cleanup, as well as petrochemical cleanup and other hazardous, environmental cleanup.
Mm-hmm.
So, I agree with that. The air, we're being constantly dumped tons and tons of crap on us.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter if you live in your house and keep your door shut, you still got air coming in. We all breathing it. I've been to the tip of Florida, to Seattle, to San Diego, to, this whole continent here, we're getting bombarded by it.
Right.
So, this is partly why the fungus is so epidemic right now. Not just the mycelium type of fungus, but I'm talking about all the different kinds of molds, funguses, and yeasts. That's partly why they're in epidemic proportions, because the environment is warmer now.
Mm-hmm.
It's moisture. It's got more moisture, so the environment for the microorganisms to live is great. And the food is at epidemic highs, because what does funguses live on? Just like the mushrooms in the forest.
Yep. The moisture.
Dead, dying. They live on.
Dead and
Yeah, they live on dead, dying, and damaged tissue. And most people are full of dead, dying, or damaged tissue.
Mm-hmm.
As well as radiation and all these other stuff. It's just because there's food. So my goal is to help people to get the concept about how to create healthy cells.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, Dr. Wil, we are at the bottom of the hour, and I think we should go ahead and just take a short little break for a minute and let you and myself grab a glass of water or something and kind of let our listeners think about what we've talked about so far, and maybe they can come up with some questions that they may have.
Sure.
Hey, we are back. Oh my gosh, you guys, there was a question here in the chat room, or actually kind of a request. And Dr. Wil, I want to jump on this question first and foremost, because this one hits real close to home for me. And that question is can you discuss the oxygen therapy and how the doctor's system can be used in a pre-hospital or post-operative situation? And so I'm going to let you talk about the science of it, and then I'm going to talk about the testimonial of it firsthand.
Okay. I like using the oxygen therapy for several things. It not only raises your oxygen levels, but I'd like to discuss how it does that so people really get their head wrapped around the simplicity. Advanced oxygen therapy's component is chlorine dioxide, which is an actual element that our cells create through normal cellular metabolism. You're just making it outside the body and you're taking it orally. And what it does is it has extra oxygen molecules that it releases into your body. And it has about an hour metabolism rate, between 1 to 2 hours, and it's totally gone. And all that's left then is basically